If you thought the saga around Sean Diddy Combs couldn't get any darker, think again. Because according to shocking new reports, what's being described in a recently surfaced police document sounds like something straight out of a nightmare. Allegations are now circulating that Diddy not only assaulted a music producer, but that the disturbing incident allegedly took place immediately after a grotesque act involving a shirt once belonging to the late Biggie Smalls. Yes, that Biggie. The details are graphic, the claims are explosive, and the entertainment industry is once again in disbelief. This isn't coming from rumors or anonymous posts. These are statements reportedly tied to an official police report and a civil lawsuit, both currently under review. Now, before we go further, let's be clear. These are allegations, not proven facts. Diddy's team hasn't publicly responded to these specific claims, and investigators are still working to verify the report. But the question remains, how deep does this go? And what really happened during that shocking night that's now making headlines across the world? Because if even half of what's being alleged is true, this could change everything we thought we knew about one of hip-hop's most powerful men. It all started with a police report that suddenly appeared online. A document so shocking that fans, journalists, and even longtime industry insiders didn't know whether to believe it or call it another internet hoax. According to what's being discussed in media circles, the report names Sean Diddy Combs as the alleged aggressor in an incident that reportedly occurred years ago, but only came to light recently, after being refiled as part of a broader investigation into the mogul's behavior. Now let's be absolutely clear. These are allegations. Nothing has been proven in court, and Diddy's legal team has not yet released an official statement regarding this particular report. But the language in the document, and the disturbing imagery it describes, is what has everyone talking. The story allegedly involves a music producer who once worked closely with Diddy during the peak of Bad Boy Records' dominance, the same era that gave us legends like the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and 112. This unnamed producer, according to the leaked report, claims that Diddy called him to a private recording session at one of his estates. At first, it seemed like any other late-night creative session, a mix of beats, drinks, and memories from the golden era of hip-hop. But what allegedly happened next is what turned this from a nostalgic reunion into a scandal. The producer reportedly told police that Diddy began talking about Biggie Smalls, reminiscing about the early days and how much he missed his old friend. Then, things allegedly took a disturbing turn. According to the report, Diddy retrieved one of Biggie's old shirts, a piece of memorabilia he'd apparently kept for years, and began acting erratically. The producer claims that Diddy appeared intoxicated, speaking in fragmented sentences about legacy, loyalty, and betrayal. The report alleges that the producer tried to calm him down, but what followed was something the alleged victim describes as unthinkable. That's where the report details an explicit act, one that allegedly left the producer in shock, before Diddy's behavior reportedly escalated into physical violence. Again, none of this has been proven in court. These are claims that have been included in what is being described as a preliminary investigative report, one that may or may not lead to further legal action. But here's where the story gets even stranger, because just hours after the supposed report surfaced, it started disappearing. Posts about it were reportedly taken down from certain online forums, accounts sharing the document were suspended, and people began asking why such a major story wasn't being covered by mainstream outlets. That's when conspiracy theories started flying, with fans speculating about everything from media suppression to powerful industry figures trying to bury the truth. Within hours, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with posts. Hashtags like Diddy allegations, Biggie shirt, and music industry secrets began trending as users dissected every screenshot, every redacted line of the alleged report. Some fans claimed the story had to be fake, that it was too bizarre, too outrageous to be real. Others said the opposite, that the level of detail in the alleged document and the history of controversy surrounding Diddy made it all too believable. Meanwhile, other producers and artists who had previously worked with Diddy started getting tagged in posts with fans urging them to speak out or confirm what they know. Most stayed silent, while a few simply posted cryptic messages about truth always coming to light. And that's when the second wave of shock hit, because a few hours later, another account claimed to have audio clips tied to the night in question. Whether those recordings were real or fabricated remains unclear, but their alleged existence poured gasoline on an already raging fire. In the following days, entertainment blogs, gossip pages, and podcast hosts began weighing in. Some framed it as an unbelievable rumor, others called it the darkest Diddy story yet. Fans were left wondering, could this really have happened? Or was it an elaborate smear campaign designed to destroy one of hip-hop's biggest icons? Whatever the case, one thing was undeniable. The conversation had begun, and it wasn't going away anytime soon. Because once a story like this enters the public sphere, it takes on a life of its own. Screenshots are saved, TikToks are stitched, and whispers become headlines overnight. And that's exactly what happened here. One leaked report became a trending topic, a viral storm of accusations, denials, and confusion. And the world suddenly found itself asking, what really happened that night, and why now? Some say it's all part of a larger investigation into Diddy's alleged past misconduct. Others think it's a targeted attempt to take him down at a vulnerable time. But one thing's for sure. This story, however it started, has only just begun. When the alleged police report began circulating, the internet practically exploded. What started as a few blurry screenshots quickly turned into a full-blown media storm, with every gossip blog, hip-hop page, and YouTube channel dissecting the story like detectives. Within hours, hashtags naming Sean Diddy Combs, Biggie Smalls, and the alleged producer incident were trending worldwide. But the most noticeable thing wasn't who was talking, it was who wasn't. Diddy, known for his commanding presence on social media and larger-than-life public image, went completely silent. No statements, no posts, no cryptic tweets. For someone who usually controls the narrative with precision, his quietness spoke volumes. Meanwhile, fans started pulling up old interviews, past controversies, and hidden clips, trying to piece together a timeline. Some pointed to Diddy's long and complicated legacy, the highs of bad boy records and the lows of multiple past accusations that had never been proven, but always seemed to follow him. In online forums, fans compared notes. One user wrote, "If this is true, it explains so much about his erratic behavior lately." Another said, "This sounds insane, but Diddy's name always finds its way back into something dark." And then there were those who refused to believe a word of it, defending him as the ultimate survivor in an industry known for tearing down its own icons. But it wasn't just fans who had something to say. People from inside the entertainment world began weighing in, subtly, carefully, but unmistakably. A former bad boy artist reportedly posted a message reading, "The truth doesn't stay buried forever." Another shared a cryptic Instagram story with the words, "Energy doesn't lie." Both posts were deleted within hours, but screenshots were already circulating. At the same time, journalists began digging deeper. Several entertainment outlets claimed they reached out to the alleged producer, who reportedly filed the initial police complaint, but there was no response. Others claimed to have seen partial documentation, though none were willing to officially confirm its authenticity. Then came the silence from Diddy's camp. Total, calculated silence. His PR team didn't issue a denial, but they didn't acknowledge the allegations either. That vacuum of information only made things worse. Because in today's world, silence doesn't calm the storm. It fuels it. Fans began interpreting everything Diddy did, or didn't do, as a sign. When he skipped an industry event that week, people immediately assumed it was because he was laying low amid the allegations. When he posted an old photo of himself and Biggie the following day, the comments section filled with accusations, conspiracies, and demands for answers. "You can't post Biggie after what's being said," one user wrote. Another commented, "This is disrespectful if the rumors are even halfway true." But then came another unexpected reaction. A group of longtime Diddy supporters who said the timing of the allegations felt too convenient. They pointed out that this wasn't the first time damaging claims had surfaced right before one of his major business ventures or public projects. Every time Diddy's about to make a move, someone tries to destroy him, one fan posted on X. Coincidence? I don't think so. Still, even among his defenders, the unease was clear. Something about this particular story, the shocking details, the Biggie connection, the police report, felt different. Podcasts devoted entire episodes to it. YouTubers did breakdowns, frame by frame, comparing his body language in old interviews, analyzing whether he looked guilty or haunted. Comment sections turned into digital battlegrounds between those demanding accountability and those calling it a smear campaign. Meanwhile, several producers and behind-the-scenes figures from the 90s era of Bad Boy quietly unfollowed Diddy on Instagram. Others started posting nostalgic throwbacks about simpler times in hip-hop, messages fans took as indirect shade. By week's end, even major media outlets that had initially ignored the rumor were forced to acknowledge it, not as a confirmed story, but as something that had undeniably taken over the public conversation. Words like disturbing allegations and viral police report began appearing in headlines. And then, as if on cue, the alleged victim's name, previously redacted, started to surface in online discussions. That's when the mood shifted. People began realizing that if this person truly existed and had worked with Diddy, then this was more than just a random internet hoax. The timeline began to look too structured, the details too specific. But still, no official statement, no press conference, no legal action from Diddy's side claiming defamation. Just silence. That's when the speculation got darker. Some believed he was preparing a major lawsuit to clear his name. Others whispered that he was negotiating behind the scenes to keep certain documents from going public. Whatever the reason, one thing was clear. The world was watching, and every hour of silence was making the story bigger. Because the internet doesn't wait for truth. It thrives on suspicion, shock, and speculation. And this story had all three. The result? A total media circus, where truth, rumor, and emotion collided into one unstoppable viral storm. And somewhere in the middle of it all stood Diddy, silent, powerful, and surrounded by a growing cloud of questions that no one seemed ready to answer. But little did anyone know, the next phase of this story was about to make everything worse. Because just when people thought they'd heard it all, a new leak would take things to an entirely different level. After weeks of headlines, speculation, and non-stop debate, one thing is certain. The conversation surrounding Sean Diddy Combs has completely changed the way the industry talks about power, influence, and accountability. What began as a single leaked report spiraled into a full-scale media event, one that blurred the lines between fact, rumor, and digital storytelling. Whether the allegations prove true or false, the response from the public shows how quickly a narrative can take on a life of its own in the age of social media. Overnight, millions of people became amateur investigators, reposting screenshots, dissecting timelines, and arguing about who to believe. Podcasters hosted emergency episodes, gossip blogs released exclusive analyses, and YouTube commentators broke down every silence, every deleted post, every line from the alleged documents. The story grew beyond the individuals involved. It became a case study in how celebrity and scandal now travel together at the speed of a retweet. Meanwhile, inside the music business, executives were reportedly reevaluating how crises like this are handled. PR teams doubled down on strategy calls, attorneys worked overtime to verify what was public and what was rumor, and artists quietly started cleaning their social feeds, afraid that a single photo from the past could drag them into the storm. Industry veterans noted that this wasn't the first time a major figure had faced intense public scrutiny, but rarely had the reaction been this immediate, this global, and this emotionally charged. And through it all, fans were left asking the hardest question of all: what do we really know? Because when stories like this go viral, truth often becomes a moving target. Screenshots can be edited, statements taken out of context, and headlines amplified far beyond their original source. By the time an official investigation concludes, if it ever does, the court of public opinion has already delivered its verdict. Still, the situation sparked an important discussion about transparency and fairness. How do we balance accountability with due process? How do we demand honesty from public figures while acknowledging that everyone, even celebrities, deserves a chance to respond before judgment? For younger audiences especially, this controversy became a masterclass in media literacy. A reminder to check sources, read full reports, and recognize the difference between verified facts and online speculation. As the dust begins to settle, observers note that Diddy's legacy, built over decades of hits, businesses, and cultural milestones, now faces a critical moment. Some believe he will weather the storm as he has many times before. Others think this could mark a permanent shift in how he's remembered. Whatever the outcome, the impact on his reputation and on the music industry's culture of silence around misconduct will be long-lasting. So where does the story go from here? Will more evidence surface? Will legal proceedings bring clarity? Or will this remain one of those unsolved Hollywood mysteries that people argue about for years? At this point, everything depends on what investigators uncover and how the involved parties choose to respond. Until then, all we can do is follow developments carefully and avoid jumping to conclusions. That's where you come in. What do you think about how this story has unfolded? Do you believe social media helps uncover the truth? Or does it sometimes make it harder to see clearly? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this discussion isn't just about one person. It's about how power, fame, and accountability collide in today's world. If you found this breakdown informative, remember to like the video. It really helps the channel reach more viewers who want deeper context behind the headlines. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming coverage. We'll keep following how this situation evolves, separating what's confirmed from what's conjecture, and analyzing the broader implications for the entertainment industry. At the end of the day, stories like this remind us that truth takes time, and that empathy and skepticism can coexist. Behind every headline is a human story, and behind every rumor is a lesson about how we share information. Until the next update, stay informed, stay respectful, and remember, sometimes the loudest noise online isn't the truth, it's just the echo. Thanks for watching, thanks for keeping the conversation thoughtful, and as always, stay tuned because in entertainment news, the story never really ends.